Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for June 13th, 2011. This is Patrick Ceresna. As always, we start off with a chart of the S&P 500 using that SPDR exchange traded fund symbol SPY. We were talking about a market top coming in for the second quarter back along here along the 136, 139 level. We rejected since then, and even last week and the week before we've been talking that any failure of the SPY at the 134, 135 level would open the window for a drop all the way down to the previous lows around that 126, 127 level. At this juncture, we are now coming to the completion of that move. And even though we might start off next week with some selling that may finish that move even as low as 125 or an accelerated crash style decline down towards the 123, 124 area. But at some point we are probably much closer to a market bounce than we are to a point where we should be looking for new shorting opportunities. At this stage, as soon as the market has one really good blow off sell day or two, the market may create a multi-week bounce that may have it heading right back up to 130, 131 on the upside. So as much as we were bearish and as much as we were looking for that downside, we are probably at some point going to see a very good bounce within the next 2-3 points lower. Next year, I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is symbol JLO. We were saying any break of that of the 24 level on the downside would open the window for a decline to where all those highs came in October and November. Really, at this stage, we had a perfect test of that 22.5 to 23 focal point that we pointed out. At this stage, again, just like the whole market, this is a level where we could see a bounce. If we do have one really big crash day where we have one sharp decline before we put in the short-term low, there's always a chance we might have a temporary shoot down to 22 to 21.50, but somewhere down there will be a buying opportunity for a multi-week market bounce. Recognize that any rally we get off of a short-term low will only be a swing trade higher. I don't believe that will be the lows of the summer yet, but there will be a short-term buying opportunity somewhere down there. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Index, which is symbol SIN. This is an index of all those casino, tobacco, and distiller companies. We were looking for the highs to come in somewhere around that 140, 145, where the measured move finished off. As we saw that topping formation coming in a number of times, the sell cycle came in very strong, and we now had a break of those previous highs at 134, which now at this point opened that window right down to support line right here on the 128, 130. We could get a bounce right off the zone. The Sindex is very oversold, but if we again had a very short-term crash cycle, we could see even 120, 122 tested on the downside, but I wouldn't be really looking for that at this point. More than likely, somewhere within the next 2-3 points lower, we should see some support levels coming in. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, which is symbol RUF. And then here's another index that rejected right off that 920, 940 area. And just like that Sindex, it's been a repetitive 7 days of selling as the market just more or less down each day. We're now coming right to that 820 support line right down below. This is where the lows came in August and September. It would be a huge accomplishment for the bears to break this to lower lows. I fully expect there to be a full market bounce right off this 820 level down below. So watch for support lines to start holding in here for at least a multi-week bounce. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is symbol FUM. We were identifying those double tops from a month ago, and really once that rally was ensuing just from a couple weeks ago, as it approached that 135, 137 level, we were saying so long as it rejects in that Fibonacci retracement zones on the upside, that we'd have another full leg lower. This natural gas index is just beginning to roll over. If that 125, 127 level does not create the market bounce here, and we're coming right to that key support level, then we should have a very quick drop down to 118, 120 on the downside. Somewhere down there, we'll be looking for a short-term low on the natural gas index. Finally, I want to take a look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is symbol UKX. And we were just saying that, as we were saying last week, if that support line at the 585 broke on the downside, and if it happened at the unison with a breakdown of the S&P 500 and the other global indices, that support line would give and the FTSE would start selling. At this stage, the only major support line down below is down at the 555 to 560 area down below, but we don't necessarily have to go there in a straight line. If there's some very good selling in the markets, we might get a test 20 points lower or 15 points lower in one good straight line, but there's a chance that if the whole market bounces over the next day or two, it might just bounce off a slightly higher level than the 560. So we'll be watching where the turning point on the FTSE will come as it sells probably another 10 or 15 points lower. That was the ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.